me get your thought a little further on this talk about sovereignty of the conference, because we've heard people say, yes, we can't have sovereign national conference, and we don't know what else or what might have informed that school of thought, because, I mean, if you say it's the process that should determine whether a conference is sovereign or not. So some of them may not even have this line of thinking. They could just tell you, look, we have a sovereign and already that does it. But some others think, look, sovereignty lies within the people. So if they have that mindset first, and then they could say, well, okay, you can have a conference, but remember. So if you have that conference and have at the back of your mind that, what's wrong with having a sovereign national conference? Because the process will eventually determine that this is sovereign, by the way.
You see, saying that you want a sovereign national conference, right, is in itself, because you don't know the end product. You get my point? You don't know the end. What you want is that you want an end product of a national conference that will have sovereign determination.
Isn't it the same thing?
It is not exactly the same thing. Because if you say that you'll have a sovereign... Look, the conference is made of people who are part of the sovereignty. You get my point? The conference, everybody who participates in the conference are people who belong to the sovereignty. But the sovereignty is de facto and de jure residing in structures of government and governance that are in existence, without which that conference itself would not hold. So you cannot take the carpet out of the platform which you expect the conference to start.
Okay, let me also add this, because I've heard people say you can have a sovereign national conference, and then they have at the back of their minds that no matter what the outcome of this conference is, it can't rise to that level where it will ultimately determine, quote unquote, our fate. That's the sovereign, those who are in those positions already.
But that's preemptive of them too. How can you say, without the commencement of a conference, that something cannot get somewhere? It's preemptive. You see, people, we have to give us...
But you know, we get to that kind of nature because of what we have gone through in the past. That is it.
You see, the point is this.
People don't wake up and just insinuate or preempt people's decision if the past had always been what it's supposed to be.
Absolutely.
So when anytime you tell me that you're going to buy me, for instance, a wristwatch, maybe I'm your child, you say, when you take first position, I'll buy you a wristwatch. And the child comes first, no wristwatch day one. Second term, no wristwatch. The third term, like before the exam, he goes like, Dad, I'm sure you won't buy me the wristwatch. But so that is it. So the people are fed up. So the kind of attitude to reverse that trend and also show that it won't be business as usual, which is in any case it's always been bad business, is for them to show what to us, the people.
In the first place, I don't believe that the people are fed up. The people are...
That's why they're calling for a conference.
Well, if they were actually fed up, they wouldn't call for anything. They would just
civilized people call for talks.
The point is this. You've said it yourself. The people are calling for a conference because they have expectation. Someone who has expectation, you cannot really say...
Is it not because the expectation is not being met, and then they want to talk?
Well, in the process of it, that's the point. It is the process. It is the fact that they talk. You see, there are two things. The process and the participation in the process in itself is an end in itself. Because by the time you go through that process, you are not the same as you started off. Take, for example, you go through a process of going to a school. By the time you participate, by the time you engage, by the time there is osmosis of ideas, by the time issues are thrown up, by the time people see arguments and counter-arguments, why certain people hold certain situations, why certain people don't hold certain positions, and you moderate that. That whole process puts in something to the participants. And people are never the way the same. So number one is the process of participation. Number two is the end product. And what I'm saying is that the combination of the process of participation and the end product is what will enable its sovereignty.
You know, it's important we have to let this work, this talk.
That is the present.
Because if it doesn't work.
That is the present Nigerians need to give themselves. Nobody has given Nigerians a present before. Nigerians need to give themselves a present of a national conference.
Should we be worried about the expenses that we're going to incur with a national conference?
Well, if it is managed well with value for money and it is inclusive, then the expense will not be as much as it should be. Because if it's as inclusive as it should be, private sector should be involved. Because we are not going to only discuss constitution, we are going to discuss issues on economic growth. What is enabling economic growth in the various regions? Civil society should be involved. Those who have been calling for sovereign national conference all this time, they should be able to participate. International development agencies, from a purely development perspective.
Civil society will participate and bring funds as well?
When you come to the discussion, right, and there are several levels of discussion, you don't, it's not the funds that they're supposed to bring. They're supposed to bring in their ideas and their views and their opinions. And I'm not sure it's that expensive to lend your opinion to a discussion. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is that there's the issue of funding. Of course, there will be an issue of funding because there will be expenses to be met. But at the same time, if it's run well, and if it's well implemented over time and structured, and it is inclusive, you'll be surprised. It's like a community building a home. It's usually cheaper.
All right, we'll have to end it there. Shina Fagbemiru Byron is a development expert. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.